Hello, everybody. Welcome to it. Today is day 184 and day 185. It's a double header of our Bible reading plan that we do daily in our Zoom meetings that happens at 5 p.m. So what we're going to zoom in, excuse the pun, into today is we're going to zoom into Psalm 105 for a number of reasons. One of them is that to really appreciate this psalm, you almost have to cut your eyes. You almost have to cast your eyes back to First Chronicles 15, where we see David and company going to the house of Obed-Edom to collect and bring back the Ark of the Lord's Covenant. And in the following chapter 16, we see there David now giving Asaph and all the other worship leaders a song. And in actual fact, this song that he's giving them in First Chronicles 16, from verses 8 to 22, the exact words that are used there is the words that we find in the first 15 verses of Psalm 105. Isn't that interesting? When the Bible does this to us. So this is the psalm that David wrote. I suppose as a way to thank God and celebrating God for bringing back the Ark of the Lord's Covenant into the tent that he had built. So now going into it now, you see in Psalm 105 verse 5, already it jumps in as a reminder to the people at the time of God's power, miracles, and justice. And we also see now from verses 6 to 15. Pretty much this entire song is a reminder of God's faithfulness. But what I like about Psalm 105, as far as that is concerned, is that it then offers us some examples of what that looks like. And that's pretty much the remainder of the psalm. So for example, one of the examples that are offered is the famine that God caused to happen to the people of Canaan back in Genesis 41, where we'll read about that story. But it's summarized here in Psalm 105. The story of Joseph, who was sold by his brothers as a slave to the Egyptians. We see this story narrated nicely for us in 105 verses 17 to 22, which pretty much basically sets the stage for the Moses redemption plan, of which I would call the Mosaic redemption plan. Now, I don't know if there is such a term. If there isn't, okay, let's make it up. Mosaic redemption plan. Now, when you continue reading this chapter, now from verses 26 all the way down to verses 44, you see now these examples now taking shape. And in this case, now it's the story of Moses and Aaron, where God is showing again his faithfulness by using those two to perform some miracles and wonders in trying to convince Pharaoh to let God's people go. The plagues that he sent to the Egyptians are summarized in this chapter, and the story moves. Of course, from Joseph to Moses and Aaron, and now the story moves from out of Egypt. Now the people, the God's people, are now in the wilderness. They are hungry. We also see there being narrated that then God feeds them. Now they are thirsty. We are shown there that now God meets their thirst. Remember that rock that was split into half? He also makes an appearance in this chapter, Psalm 105. So pretty much summarizing God's faithfulness, that he has never left his people. He will never leave his people, and by extension, we can claim that as well. As I close, this now takes me to my standout verses. Today it's verse 44 and verse 45, and it reads thus: the Lord gave them the land and everything else, and nations. I beg your pardon. The Lord gave them the land and everything else that the nations had worked for. He did this so that his people would obey all his laws. I sort of rewrote this just because I can. And when I rewrote it, it looks like this: the Lord gave. so that his people would obey all his laws. The Lord gave so that his people would obey his laws. The Lord gave so that whosoever saw, I'm going to let you finish it. The Lord gave so that whosoever saw, come on now. This got me excited that the Lord gave and was faithful to them through provision, through making sure they have something to eat, they have something to drink, just so they can obey his laws. You know what? I'll stop there for today. Thank you for watching. Please join us later in our Zoom meeting. It happens at 5 p.m. every day. For the details, just look in this very same video that you're looking at. The details are there in the bottom. Yeah, see you there.